Game one of the NBA Finals went to the Nuggets, who cooled off the Heat with a 104-93 victory. So let's talk some hoops with the great NBA writer for TrueHoop. That's my guy, Jarod Hector. Jarod, did you enjoy the first game of the Finals?
It was great, Dexter. I think we saw some excellent basketball. I think this will be a great series, and I'm excited, man. Like, look, these are the two best teams in the league in terms of how they played in the postseason, and I'm excited to see where this finals goes.
Yeah, let's see where it goes. So, Jarod, let's talk about this. Denver, they played his first NBA Finals game in franchise history in Game 1, and Nikola Jokic, he was Mr. Triple-Double again. 27 points, 14 dimes, 10 boards. He's been killing it all playoffs and the past few seasons. So I got to ask this, is Jokic the best player in the NBA right now?
For the last 3 seasons, Nikola Jokic has been the best player in the world. He is just phenomenal, Dexter. And I think a lot of the casual fans and people who don't watch Denver on a regular are finally getting to see all that he brings to the table. You know, what makes him such a tough cover is he's the world's best passer, right? And so because of that, you're constantly aware of who's around and what you're doing. And so if your point is, all right, we're going to send doubles at him, it's like, okay, I'll pick you apart with that elite passing. But he's also, when he wants to be, one of the best scorers in the world, right? You couple that with his processing speed and the ability he has to dissect where everything's coming from and what the game is giving him and how to read it. It just makes him an incredibly tough cover. Plus, the fact that he's 7 feet tall and a giant.
Yeah, that helps too, but is a problem for the opposition. Now, you mentioned the size and guarding Jokic. The Nuggets, they were in control for most of Game 1, but you can look at it this way. The Heat, they were able to hold Denver to just 104 points. Is the Miami defense an encouraging sign for them heading into Game 2, and what do you think that they need to do in order to even the series up at 1?
You know, I think in some ways, and the Heat said it after Game 1, Jimmy Butler in particular, they got to play harder and play better in certain areas. And you could see there were a couple moments where the Nuggets were running them and they weren't getting back as quickly in transition, the Heat, as they normally do. To be expected, they came off a 7-game grueling series against the Boston Celtics. Those legs are probably heavy. And yes, the altitude does matter, despite what anybody says. Is it the be-all, end-all? No. But it will be a factor in determining this series. How much? I don't know. But it will matter some. But you can also look at it the other way, Dexter. Then the Heat say, look, we missed a bunch of wide open threes, shots we normally make. Cool. The Heat had 3 games in that series against Boston where they shot 50% from the floor. They shot 50% from the floor from 3 only 3 times throughout the whole regular season. So do they do that again in the finals? Probably not. And you look at Denver's side of it, Denver shot below their average, 29% from 3. So if they shoot their average at threes, this game's an even bigger blowout. So I don't know that we take too much from what did Miami figure out? Did they hold them to 104? Look, Denver missed some easy shots they normally make as well. And if they make those, this series can end quickly.
Yeah, it could end really quickly. It's all about that shot making. We'll see if the Heat are able to do that in Game 2. Now, looking ahead to that Game 2, will you be more focused on how Jimmy Butler, you mentioned him, how he responds for the Heat in the second game, or how Jokic looks to attack any new defensive looks that Miami might throw at him?
I think the key, I'm looking at both of them, to be honest, and it's a cop-out answer, but it's true. Look, again, I talked about Jokic. What makes him so good is that processing speed, the brain, his ability to figure out what you're doing. If you're Miami and something works, don't stay into it too long. Get away from it. I know that sounds counterintuitive, but the longer you stay in it, you're going to give him an opportunity to figure it out. And once he figures it out, well, then you're toast. You got to do something else. So I'll be watching to see again how he dissects the game, and he's very good. Jokic talked about this after Game 1. I don't go into it with any preconceived notions. Whatever the game gives, that's what it says, that's what I'll read, and that's what I'll do. But the ability is that he can do everything, so that's what makes him so good. For the Miami Heat and Jimmy Butler, yes, he's going to have to be more aggressive. That mid-range shot was available. He can take that. They don't have a ton of rim protection, the Denver Nuggets, so you can attack the rim and put pressure on it. So look for Jimmy to do more of that. And again, look, at this point for Miami, it isn't so much about X's and O's and great game planning. It's can they play better than Denver for 4 out of 7 games? And I don't know if that's possible right now.
All right, we will see if it is possible. Right now, the Nuggets have a 1-0 series lead. Game 2 Sunday night in the Mile High City. Jarod Hector, great NBA writer for TrueHoop. He's going to be watching. You know I will be too. Jarod, always good to talk some NBA hoops with you, especially in the NBA Finals. Enjoy Game 2.
Thank you, man. You too.